Let's play this piece of sound. You know, the theme of this show has been U.S.-backed atrocities and murder across the world. And sometimes, of course, the United States does it itself, as in all of the atrocities in Iraq, as an example. Here's Duncan Hunter, who I thought Duncan Hunter was on his way to jail. I know that his district is apparently so afraid of Muslims that he defeated a very promising candidate running a totally bigoted actual bigoted fear-mongering campaign in actual reality, just like Kevin McCarthy's George Soros, Tom Steyer meme was in fact actually anti-Semitic. Here's Duncan Hunter taking a break from all the various corruption probes about him to say, like, it's totally unfair is the fact that, like, the U.S. military even has rules of engagement. Like, what the fuck?
Matt Goldstein is under suspicion for premeditated murder. Eddie Gallagher is in jail in San Diego, a Navy SEAL that is in trouble for killing bad guys the wrong way. What I think we have here is a case of what the U.S. government would call compassionate combat, meaning the U.S. government for the last 5 years under President Bush and crystallized under President Obama has wanted us to kill the bad guys, but in the right way. Meaning they want us to kill guys compassionately and only under the rules of engagement that they say to. And if you kill the bad guys that we actually say are bad guys the wrong way, well, the U.S. government then is going to try you for murder and put you in jail, even if you're a decorated Green Beret, if you're a Navy SEAL, if you're Marine Corps Force Recon. That's where we've fallen here, and I think that's the umbrella that all this falls under. That's why Goldstein is in so much trouble. There's supposed to be a thing now, compassionate combat, which doesn't exist. Either you want us to kill the bad guys or you don't.
Matt, what is the Goldstein case?
Yeah, this is from Splinter. The Republican specifically calls out the Republican being Hunter in this case. Hunter specifically calls out several U.S. Service members who are under investigation or on trial for war crimes or murder. Army Major Matthew Goldstein, for instance, is accused of taking a captured Afghan insurgent off the base he was being held at, executing him, and then burning his body in a trash pit to hide the evidence.
You know what's really interesting here? And I hesitate to even go here because this is actually where there is just like a moral full stop, and there isn't really anything other to say other than the fact that a sitting U.S. congressman is on a massive propaganda network for the Republican Party promoting murder and atrocities, which should speak for itself. But the shift under Bush and Obama that he's referring to, and certainly Bush was responsible not only for many civilian casualties, but a global torture regimen. And the drone war of Obama killed an extraordinary amount of innocent people in Pakistan and Yemen. But what they're talking about, and it's funny because he's actually really insulting people that they used to at least lionize, like Stanley McChrystal and David Petraeus, who also have plenty of body counts and blood on their hands. But the theory of COIN, of counterinsurgency strategy, is based off of a pretty simple premise, which is that if you're fighting essentially you're doing police work in the way the police work globally has become highly militarized and is actually a huge problem of the center oppressing the peripheries everywhere. And obviously, Israel, Palestine's kind of the prototype of that dynamic, but you see it in Ferguson as an example. But the theory of COIN is based on the premise that if you need to cooperate with a local village, as an example, to tip you off on a suicide bomb-making factory, it helps if all of the people there don't hate you because you're murdering them. So the theory is that it is in your self-interest to play soccer with the kids, to sit down and have some tea, versus abduct somebody, kill them, and then burn their body in a pit to cover the evidence. So I hesitate to even go to that second order point because that's a congressperson sitting on television advocating murder and atrocities while idiots nod along. But even by their own logic, and I will use that phrase, he's not understanding COIN strategy. And if some fucking Brooklyn socialist Adidas tracksuit guy could fucking break that down for you, there's a big problem there.